Well, welcome back to Chopping It Up. Kind of took a little hiatus because we've got a lot of life going on. This is my co-host Bryce, and it's just us two today. The other two got life going on, but hopefully they'll be back soon.
Yes, yeah, a bit of a hiatus over the summer. Luckily not too much football stuff going on, but we're back, going to work on being a little more consistent, and let's get chopping it up.
Yeah. So, during our hiatus, there's a lot of stuff that kind of did happen a little bit. One of them is the Cam Newton versus Jalen Hurts thing. So, recently, if you guys have not seen, is like Cam Newton does not have Jalen Hurts in his top 10 quarterbacks. And a lot of people agreed with it, and a lot of people kind of disagreed with it. So, I was like, dude, this is actually a very interesting topic to talk about. Is Cam right? Is Cam going to be one to say, saying hey, he's not a top 5 quarterback, not top 10 quarterback. Everybody, so me and Bryce have our top 5 and 10 through 10 because everybody knows who the top 5 are, top 4 are.
Yeah, it's the same people, just in different orders depending on what you like. It's Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. That I feel like would be kind of boring. Everyone already knows who the top 4 is. I feel like it'd be a little bit of a waste of debate or something that's been talked about a ton. But what a lot of people don't talk about is the latter half of the top 10, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I think that's where a lot of the real debate and interesting discussion is.
Because also the fact is the NFL is getting a lot more talented with quarterbacks and stuff. So having that top 4 is like, we already know who, again, the top 4 quarterbacks are. But that 5 through 10 is probably the hardest range to go through because you have so many elite quarterbacks, and then, you have your occasional ass quarterbacks. So, Bryce, you want to start off your list?
All right. I'll go ahead because I very much disagree with Cam Newton, but this is my list for 5 through 10. So at 5, all right, so I'll go ahead and start my 5 through 10. I believe in Jalen Hurts, but for my 5 through 10 list at 5, I've got Baker. I think statistically over the last few years, and if he continues it this year, I think he can solidify that 5 spot. I like Baker. I know he struggled in the beginning, but I like Tampa Bay Baker. Tampa Bay Baker is good, and it's hard for me to say again because OU quarterback, all that, but I think Baker is at least deserving to be in that debate at the 5 spot. At number 6, I've got Hurts. I know a lot of people may disagree with that, but I mean, you look at it. Okay, he's been to the Super Bowl twice. Lost one where he was a primary passer. The reason they didn't win, running back away. And this year he wasn't asked to throw a lot. I mean, what was working was the run game, so I don't count that against him. He won the Super Bowl MVP. Won the Super Bowl. I say you put him at 6. At number 7, I think it's over here. You can mix and move around. I would personally put Jaden Daniels, because I think he did a lot with less. And I don't know, I do see he may regress this year, but I mean, if he continues to do what he did last year, I think he would be really good and deserving of that 7 spot. At 8, I have Matthew Stafford. I am not a big Stafford guy, I'll be honest. I mean, over his entire career, he has a losing record, and he's very much benefited from 2 historic Hall of Fame wide receivers. At 9, that's where I put C.J. Stroud, maybe a little bit of bias, but I think he deserves to be there. I think a lot of his sacks, or a lot of his regression had to do with his O-line. A lot of people give Caleb Williams a lot of leeway for the sacks when C.J. Stroud was pressured a lot more. And also, Caleb had a ton of sacks and was only the 10th, or no. He was like 10th in the pressure rate, so people were doing more pressure. Yeah. We'll get into Caleb. And then at number 10, I think this is debatable. I put a 10A and 10B between Goff and Purdy. I think Purdy is decent. I think dealing with a lot of injury sucks. I think we'll see how he does next season with less rather than losing players that you relied on. They're trying to work and rely on Purdy more, so I think he could be there. And then Goff, I mean, just really, really good numbers. I think it'd be interesting to see what it's like without the OC there, see if it was him or if it was Goff. But yeah, that's my list. Jonah, do you want to go ahead and tell me that you disagree with all of it?
Honestly, I love the fact that me and you are two opposites on this list. Ain't gonna lie to you. I still have like probably 2 quarterbacks on your list that are on my list. Like, and I'm not even disagreeing with your list. Your list is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, we disagree. We agree on a lot. We disagree on quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks is the one thing that me and Bryce do not agree on. As you can see in episodes before this one, you can see that me and Bryce agree a lot, and then me and Bryce really disagree on quarterbacks. So my list is kind of a little bit different than his. This is like me like thinking like who's gonna finish in the top 5 to 10 next year, going into next year, like when the season ends. My list is kind of different, not going into it. So at my number 5, I have your boy CJ Stroud. Ain't gonna lie to you. I've been looking at a lot of training camp at the Texans right now, and yes, Tank Dell did get hurt, but you got those 2 rookie wide receivers that have been working in really well with Christian Kirk that is taking that Tank Dell role a little bit, and you still have Nico Collins.
Yeah. And you see that Braxton Berrios touchdown? It wasn't CJ who threw it, but still, Braxton Berrios is in there returning kicks.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, I'm really excited for what the Texans will bring into store, especially trying to help CJ. Like, I want to say he digressed because he finished 39th in the NFL in the top 100. So I guess digress. Like when people say they digress, like sophomore slump, you're not even in the top 100 in the NFL. People still see CJ Stroud as one of the top quarterbacks. I do too, because you got the big arm, you got the mobility. I think it's just more what Bryce said. The offense coordinator was like absolutely don't know what the fuck he was doing. So
yeah, there's a reason he doesn't have a job anymore. And I don't know, apparently too, we don't have to do a whole CJ Stroud discussion, because I'm not going to argue with you putting him at 5. I mean, I would have loved to put him there. But I've just got to see first. But yeah, like apparently things with Slowick in the very beginning, like even draft day stuff, like CJ didn't think Houston was going to take him because of the way Slowick treated him in a lot of those interviews. And so apparently it's been something that's been developing. But yeah, I don't have too much of an issue with CJ at 5.
All right. At number 6, I have Jaden Daniels. I think you got to sign. I think I'm going to put him up here, but if they don't do anything with Terry McLaurin, I ain't going to lie to you, I might move him down like a little bit. Just a little bit. He's an awesome quarterback. Awesome quarterback. Really good. Like, what is a better rookie year than going into the NFC Championship game as your, like, as the starting quarterback for the Commanders, wherever. I thought they weren't going to do that good, but it's very impressive. Very impressive quarterback. He's probably going to finish probably the best quarterback in that draft class, and he should have been number 1. That is my opinion. He should have been number 1. But I really like Jaden Daniels, and I like the future he's going into, and hopefully one of these days all these quarterbacks are going to be gone. The top 4 is going to be gone, so he's going to probably have to be one of them. Will be one of those top dogs. All right, number 7. This is me just buying into the hype. These are only like really hype quarterbacks I've been looking at. I got Drake May at 7. I'm very confident what the Patriots are doing. Mike Vrabel is a very good head coach, like a very good head coach. Like he took Tennessee with Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill to the AFC Championship game. Like, and they beat Lamar Jackson's MVP year. Like, I think he's going to be a really good coach for Drake May, and plus they're already helping him out with getting receivers like Stephon Diggs to help him out. Henderson's going to help him out a lot too, and prioritizing the offensive line. Will Campbell and those snaps in the preseason looked really fucking good, so I'm excited for that. I'm excited for what they're doing with Drake May, and for the few games that May played, he played really well. I'm excited for that at 7. At 8, I have Jordan Love. I like Jordan Love. I love the game that he plays. He's kind of like Aaron Rodgers a little bit, but he got the mobility factor with Jordan Love. And they actually did something that did not do with Aaron Rodgers at all, is draft the receiver in the first round. They got Matthew Golden to help him out now. So I'm really excited in the trajectory of the Green Bay Packers with the offense, the defensive side, and I said 8. What name? CJ, Daniels, May. Yeah. At 9, I have Hurts. I think Hurts is like he's a good quarterback. I did not agree with Cam, but I'm not going to be putting him in the top echelon of the quarterbacks that are up there. But he's in the bottom, like if you put him in 8 to 10 range, that's kind of where he fits in. He did really good last year. Again, I agree with Bryce. He was not asked a lot to do a lot because they had the best running back in NFL, and Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, one of the best historic running seasons in NFL history.
Yeah. But also the fact is, in our Super Bowl video, me and Bryce did discuss they are going to, like in the Super Bowl, they are going to play like really good defense against Saquon. So that leaves one-on-one with every wide receiver. And me and Bryce did say that Jalen Hurts was going to eat. And he did. Like one-on-one coverage to A.J. Brown. He was deserving the Super Bowl MVP because he played a really good game. Especially the first time they played against the Chiefs, it was literally just him fumbling that ball that really cost the game.
Yeah, and what I would add on to Hurts as well, and we can talk about it a little more in depth, honestly, when you're done with your list. But he wins. I think he wins that Super Bowl against the Chiefs if he doesn't have a low tier back running the ball for him. The first Super Bowl.
They didn't need him
because if you put even a half decent guy in that backfield,
which was Miles Sanders.
Yeah, Miles Sanders. That instead of Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell. I think they win that original Super Bowl, and he did it a lot with his arm. That's why I have issues with Cam saying that he's not top 10 because, Cam doesn't have a Super Bowl ring. Cam, although historic, he doesn't have a Super Bowl MVP.
He played against arguably one of the best defenses in NFL history. I'm just saying
he had a good season.
Yeah,
he had better if he jumped on the ball.
I know. I'm a big Cam Newton fan, so it's just like that Super Bowl did not go well for him because he had Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware just going right to him when the ball snapped. But also the fact is, Jalen Hurts does not have an MVP in the regular season
yet.
We'll see.
He's still young, right? It's 5 years in the league.
Yeah, actually, no. That year that they went to the Super Bowl, he could have gotten it, but his knee got hurt.
Yes.
And then they gave it to Mahomes.
Probably is. The normal cop-out. Just give it to Mahomes, even though his stats aren't there.
Like how Carson Wentz was supposed to win MVP, but they gave it to Tom Brady instead. But I do believe Jalen Hurts is really good. I will take him over like half of the quarterbacks. I mean, shit. Bring him to Pittsburgh. I'll take him over.
Yeah, that would be great.
And then at my number 10 spot, I kind of have a slash. So my 10A and 10B, Bo Nix and Baker Mayfield. I kind of when I was going through this list, I was like, oh, freak. I forgot about Mayfield. I do really like Mayfield a lot. And this is coming from a Texas fan that absolutely hates OU and absolutely hated Baker. But Baker, even in the media, have won people over now. Since he's in a better situation, I think he's in the best situation that he's been in ever, because you have Mike Evans, Emeka Ibuka, and Chris Godwin, and you have two really good running backs. I think he's in the best situation to thrive. Also, that will go with Bo Nix as well. Sean Payton has another quarterback that he really likes. remember, he got rid of Russ because he didn't want Russ. He wanted his own quarterback, and they drafted Bo Nix because that's what he wanted. Again, I think J.J. McCarthy was still on the board, but they wanted Bo Nix more than they wanted J.J. McCarthy because Bo Nix is doing everything that Sean Payton wants him to do. Yeah. Wants him to make sure he's reading and progressing through the plays and all that kind of stuff. And Bo Nix is really good. My honorable mention going into this season though, Michael Penix Jr. He's been looking really good, and we're going to talk about more of the second-year quarterbacks eventually in this episode. But my honorable mention is Michael Penix Jr. The only reason I don't have Jared Goff or Brock Purdy on this list is because I saw Brock Purdy's record when he did not have Deebo Samuel, and it's pretty bad. I don't really believe in Brock Purdy as much as other people do. But he's won. He has a really good record. He brought his team to the NFC Championship game. He's been really consistent, except for last year. Last year was something else. But also, I do not know what Jared Goff is going to look like. Yeah. That's the one thing I'm like, I need to take Jared Goff off this list because sometimes offensive coordinators do really carry. I ain't going to lie. Sometimes they do really carry and mask the mistakes that the quarterback makes.
Yeah. No, and that's true. The reason I had them, or give maybe Purdy a little more leeway, is he has a really good resume, whether it's because he's playing with the Avengers or not. Yeah, and I think this will be very much like a make or break year for Purdy. Like, if he can just make it to the wild card, I think it's successful for him. But I think the hard part is you go through all of camp, you've got all these star players with you, and they all get hurt in the beginning of the season. So your offense and your scheme is set around those stars, and in the blink of an eye, you don't have them. So you're not, I think Juwan Jennings is really good, but he's not like Deebo Samuel where you're going to throw it to him on a screen and he's going to take it 50 yards to the house. So, you aren't using
offense that they're going to try to run because you don't even know when I think you get Ayuk back week 6. That's what they've been saying.
Yeah, and that was the thing too. They weren't great, but they were semi-functional. They were competitive with Ayuk, and then he goes down, and it all goes downhill. I mean, he's still got a good team around him. I'd be interested to see him there. And then I agree with you with Goff, but something I was going to say about your list that I was shocked, because the last couple weeks you've been talking a lot about Stafford, but Stafford didn't make your top 10.
Yeah.
That's why I thought you were going to talk about Stafford, so I was like, I'll put him up there. I mean,
I think it's the one thing is, with me, I was saying like Matthew Stafford, but also the fact is he has not practiced at all. Yeah. And that's going to ruin his chemistry with Devontae Adams, his brand new receiver. And I think it's just like, the thing is, like, you got to like build that chemistry with the receivers. You saw what happened with Aaron Rodgers last year at the Jets. He didn't want to do this. I don't want to do training camp, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And they looked like absolute dog shit because like there's no other receivers. I mean, same page with his receivers. So that's mainly why.
Yeah. No, and I definitely agree with that. I think that's a fair thing. I had Stafford in there because I thought you were going to put him in your list. But yeah, my thing with Stafford is, so I think he's good. I think he's kind of, I wouldn't say he's more of part of the system rather than being the whole system.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you look at him, okay, he won a Super Bowl, and he had some stars around him. You got him again this year. And, I mean, if the chemistry is there and if his back is fine, like, I mean, he had to get an epidural and all that for his back. So it's pretty serious. But if you can build that chemistry, he could probably be good statistically. Yeah. I just think...
Yeah, I do agree with you. It's just like, one thing is like when NFL QBs get new receivers, the one thing you need to do right off the bat is build chemistry, knowing where they're going to be cutting, the ins, the outs, and all this kind of stuff. And he hasn't done. His only receiver that he really knows that well is Nakua. Like, he doesn't have Cooper Kupp to rely on anymore. They don't have that connection. He's all the way in Seattle now. So I think him being out, yes, it's really good. The fact is that he's kind of resting that and not pushing it because like the season's about to start. But also it kind of sucks that you're not getting the reps that you need. Jimmy Garoppolo is getting the reps with the number ones right now. So the number ones know, like, oh, this is where Jimmy has it. And then, what, you're going to put Stafford in? It's going to be kind of weird. That's kind of why I don't really have Stafford in there. I think if he does really well, like, he will get back into the range of it. But as of right now, that's like to be determined.
Yes, for sure.
All right, so next thing is the most talked about right now is training camp. Training camp is basically going on right now, NFL preseason training camp. So we'll just talk to you guys about like what we see going on in training camp so far.
Yeah, the good and the bad that we see from some of the teams in training camp.
Quarterback battles, quarterback situations, what's going on. So when we're talking about this, we're going to start with the first team that everybody's talking about right now is the Browns. Their quarterback situation is kind of a little bit like up in the air. They're either trading a quarterback, they're doing this with the quarterback. When I watched the preseason game, Shador looked pretty good. Like, he struggled in the first couple drives, but then he started putting it together and he looked really good. Granted, it wasn't against this Carolina Panthers starting defense, but he made the best of his opportunity. 3 touchdowns, really good. Making sure that he's throwing the ball away when he doesn't see anything. He's not forcing anything either. Really good. Also, the fact is, no other Browns quarterback played besides Huntley. So, I know he's starting out at quarterback number 4 as of right now. You got Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and Joe Flacco ahead of him. So I do believe he'll go to QB2. But I think this is Joe Flacco's battle to lose.
Yeah. So the way I see it, so like Shador definitely had like a good day. Before we get too deep into the Browns, I do want to say Carolina's offense looked good. It was nice to see Bryce, Ted McMillan looked good.
Dude, they'll
be very interesting to watch and keep an eye on. I think the quarterback situation is definitely a sticky one. Shador, Gabriel. I don't think Gabriel is all that, to be honest, but I still think Cleveland should at least give him a shot and a chance to play in a preseason game. And the same thing with Pickett. It's kind of one of those things. You have so many quarterbacks that you just gotta watch and look out for. I think week 1, Flacco is going to get the start. I think that's how it's going to be, especially because you don't have a rookie quarterback that is one of those stars like Cam Ward, who like everyone's like, yeah, he's definitely going to start week 1. A lot of it's very interesting to me. Like a couple notes I have about Shador. I think he's good in game. He's decent. He's got good ball placement, decision making. I feel my only issue with him is he's not. So he doesn't have the extreme talent like mobility like Lamar or an arm like Josh Allen. He's kind of mid decent. His best thing is ball placement and accuracy. What I worry about with him is off the field stuff and some of the personality traits and maturity. Like the speeding tickets and stuff like that. A lot of franchise star quarterbacks are much more mature, maybe, or act more mature than Shador does currently. Even guys, C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels, they aren't around getting speeding tickets, or they aren't walking into the very first preseason game of the year with a dude holding a scythe and a boombox playing your own rap music. It's some stuff like that concerns me, to where none of us know what he looks like in the quarterback meeting rooms, but I worry that he doesn't have the maturity that you see with some of the really successful guys and how they conduct themselves.
Like Dart was really good in one of those interviews though too.
Yeah, Dart's well in interviews. I mean, even we already talked about him a bit, but Jalen Hurts, when he entered the league, he was 22 going on 32. This is what it felt like. Like an adult, I've been here before. I know how to act. I've got everything in front of me. And the guys that you historically have kind of come in with the I know everything attitude and bigger than the team stuff, it's failed. I mean, you look at Baker, who's doing great now, but things didn't really work too well in Cleveland because it's the Bake Show, and you have Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel,
progressive.
Yeah, all the progressive commercials. It's a lot of those people aren't super successful in the league. Like the loudest star quarterback is probably Lamar Jackson, and he's not even that loud. Nice. Yeah, he'll call people out. Like I don't know. I don't like.
Dude, I to be fair, like none of the quarterbacks are really like.
None of the star good quarterbacks
are out there.
Yeah, and I also don't like that he goes.
CJ last year, but he was doing his little tour thing.
Yeah, he was doing his tour, like hopping on podcasts and stuff. But he wasn't like chopping it up. He wasn't. After a preseason game where you played well, but you had one preseason game playing its backups, going and calling out like a radio show host that was like there when no one's around. It's like you don't need to do that. You had a good game. Go to the locker room, get a pat on your back, get back in film, study, because you're still the quarterback for. And so I think he could be great. He's just got to do a little more of the Tom Brady route, where Tom Brady wasn't great or amazing with a lot of the not intangible, but like given physical traits. He was just dedicated, kept on his P's and Q's, studied, was a student of the game, and learned to win rather than being loud and
I'm trying to think what quarterback is loud. None of
them really are. A lot of them are kind of mature and hold themselves. A lot of the good starting guys do. I mean, you look at some of the other people that are maybe out there doing more. Like, I don't know, Kyler Murray, who's out here streaming, playing video games all the time, and he looks terrible playing against backups, throwing interceptions.
Well, that was a terrible ass throw.
Yeah, it's just I think Shador, if he gets his head in the right spot, could be good.
I think he'll be in the middle of the pack, but it's just like I guess it's the maturity thing, and this is why you're a 5th round pick. You have a talent of a very good first rounder, but the maturity, no team teams are not going to risk that anymore. Honestly, they've seen it. We're not going to risk it anymore. If you're going to have maturity issues, fine. We're going to draft Dylan Gabriel. That is not a better quarterback than you, but he holds himself to a good standard. I'm not going to see this dude on freaking 5 a.m. news doing a speedy ticket or whatever. I don't need to see his face all over Twitter just because of bad shit.
Yeah, 104 miles an hour on a 45. And you go back to, they released for the second week of preseason their unofficial depth chart, and Shador Sanders, after having a good game, is still at 4. I think some of that is definitely they want to see everyone play before they really make movements.
Yeah.
But the other part too, when they talked to Stefanski is the coach, right? When they talked to Stefanski, his response about the quarterback situation was, we have a way that the position is played, not in our system, but the way our quarterbacks conduct themselves, carry ourselves, play the position on and off the field, and we need to see all of them do that before making decisions. So I took that as he's referring to on the field, wanting to see him play, but at the same time when he talks about we, for our culture, the Cleveland Browns, the quarterback position, we have a standard for it. I think was talking about some of the off-the-field and maturity issues as well. And again, I think he could be good if he drove himself to it. And I don't think he'll ever be a top 5 guy, but he could be a starter if So there's a lot.
Hopefully, yeah.
But
But now we're going to kind of segue into the Colts. The Colts is a very interesting battle. We did see a little bit of Anthony Richardson in the preseason. When I say a little bit is we saw him get absolutely rocked. And it was mostly I thought it was more of the offensive line at first, but I've been diving into a little bit of film and listening to other people talk about it. It was AR's fault because they had a different protection, like hot. So your running back is already heading out. He's looking on the other side. You just checked it down to the running back. But again, it is preseason, so we get to see Daniel Jones did not do good either. So it's just like, it's kind of like this, like neck and neck kind of. I do believe, ain't gonna lie to, and this is me just being an AR fan, I do think Anthony Richardson wins the job because, like, he did spend a top 3 pick on him. It's going to be kind of bad if he doesn't win the job and you let him go with Daniel Daniels. But, hey, if you don't let him win the job, you can change it to Pittsburgh. You can do that. I'll deal with him. I'm fine with that. But all jokes aside, regardless, I do think this is Anthony Richardson's job to lose. I do believe that. It's because in camp, he actually looks pretty good. I think he's hitting the throws that he's making, and I think Tyler Warren in camp is helping him out. A security blanket that all quarterbacks need is a tight end. That's why they drafted Tyler Warren. Still don't know how he got down to the draft, and they drafted, whatever. But regardless of the fact is he's been looking good in camp. Also because I've been following Idai Mitchell, Texas receiver, second year going into it. He's been pretty good in camp as well. But I do think this AR's job to lose. Again, I believe in the preseason game 2, I think Daniel Jones will start first.
Yeah.
I think that's what they said. I think Daniel Jones starts first, but I might be mistaken. It might be AR then Daniel Jones again, but if it's really a quarterback battle, I do expect Daniel Jones to take the first team snaps this coming preseason game.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to see. I haven't looked at the news on, what is Anthony Richardson's pinky looks like. Yeah, I'll be nice to the Colts first. Tyler Warren is a great offensive weapon. I think he looked really good in the preseason. And another positive for the Colts is they will be picking early next year again, so they will get another big, high-caliber offensive guy. When you talk about the stuff with Anthony Richardson, in the preseason game when he got hit, it looked at first like, the offense just missed a guy, but he had 6 guys coming and 5 guys blocking, and I think if you're a rookie, you get a little more leeway for that. Like if that was Shador or Jackson Dart, I think that's a little different. But a guy coming into year 3, I think you want to see a little more recognition of protections. Or even, you see that guy screaming, you got 5-on-6, alert, you go straight to your hot, you're running back on the check down or you're tight end in the flat. And that recognition wasn't there. But it is the first preseason game of the year. I think it'll be interesting to keep an eye on. It's kind of a quarterback battle as to who's gonna go 5-12. But I think it's something interesting to see. It's kind of that last test of Anthony Richardson. Can you play quarterback in the NFL? But I think there's going to be a lot of change with the Colts after this season. I think there may be a new head coach. If Anthony Richardson looks terrible in regular season games and Daniel Jones is a starter, I think you got a new GM coming your way too. It's just
isn't it all ran by women now?
Yes. The owner passed away and gave it to his daughters. But I think you also, you have a new regime of ownership. They've been working there for a while, but I think you've got to switch something up if you're trying to win as the Colts.
All I'm going to say is he always looks good when he's playing against you guys. For some fucking reason.
Yeah, for the 2 quarters he plays until he dives head first into a D tackle and watches the rest of the game.
That first game that he played against you guys, he launched that ball. Like him is, it's funny because when he launched it, the next drive CJ launched it as well.
Yes.
So I think that's why I'm kind of hoping that AR wins, because it's always a very intriguing battle when it comes to AR versus CJ, especially. And I really want AR to win because I thought this is me going into this, like, again, in the draft when the Colts drafted Anthony Richardson, I was like, oh, this is perfect because this is the same offensive coordinator that just took Jalen Hurts and that was one of his best statistical years. And he took the Colts, the Eagles to the Super Bowl with his offense, and he ran the exact same thing. But now you just got a little better arm, Jalen Hurts, and younger. So I thought there was a match made in heaven. I still do believe it might be, but we just got to see if he can prove it or not.
Yeah, he's an extremely talented, like physically gifted guy. He just hasn't been able to put it all together yet. And that's where, I think Anthony Richardson probably should be the starter, and you should work to develop him. But, I think he could be good. I think originally he probably should have been a backup for a while and learned and settled in there, because he didn't play a lot in college either. He's had an issue staying on the field. And if he can stay on the field or, go somewhere, maybe it's not Indianapolis, where he can learn and develop, I think it would be beneficial for him. But all I'll say is the Colts are definitely going to be getting another high-powered offensive or defensive weapon in next year's draft. And
they did have 13th pick last year, so it's not that high, but it's not that low either. So
maybe they can crack into the top 10 this year.
Maybe. We'll let Bryce segue into this one. We're going to be talking about the Giants.
Yeah, this is... I think the Giants are going to be good. I really like the Giants right now. I think with their roster, the NFC East now looks really, really good, and I think, all I'll say is I don't think that they're finishing last in the division this year. I think that'll be Dallas. We'll get into that later. But I think this team has a very bright future. You've got Brian Daboll, who I still kind of believe in. A very young team. The defense is good. Like, the defense looks really good. And I think the X factor to all of this is Jackson Dart. After seeing him in the preseason game, he missed a couple throws, but what I liked about the way he played is he was making the right decision. He was going to the right guy every time, and that dart to Lil Jordan Humphrey was amazing. I forgot that Lil Jordan Humphrey was even on the Giants, but that was a great throw. He was making all the right decisions, and I do think they were getting a lot of criticism over the offseason about signing, you bring in Russell Wilson, then you bring in Jameis, and then you bring in a rookie. Like, it's a crowded room, but what I am excited to see is Russell Wilson, as much as he drives me nuts, he's always been, or at least in his heyday, was a good decision maker, made when it came to throwing the ball. And then on the other side you have Jameis Winston, who is I don't care if I throw an interception, I'm going to get up the next drive and I'm going to throw it 50 yards down the field, and being super confident in yourself. So I think Jackson Dart is going to get a really good mentorship by the two of them, and I think he'll be great. Little Cam Scadaboo's looked good in camp. I'm just excited to see Jackson Dart chuck stuff up to Malik Neighbors and see the Giants be an actual competitive team this year.
With me, I'm going to segue into this. I think Brian Daboll has been looking for his Josh Allen. I think that's what he's been looking for. Again, he did not draft Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was handed to him, here, fix this guy, please. Mm-hmm. And they did make the playoffs with him, but that was mostly because of Saquon Barkley. A lot of it was, but I've been telling Brian. I said Brian. I've been telling Bryce this. Like, I've been very excited. Not really for the offensive side, which the offensive side, I think at some point, if Russ does not play good and they're like 0-3, you might have to like fans. We're either going to be decent ass or we're going to be good to watch, but we're ass. Yeah. And you have to put Jackson Dart in to sell tickets to make sure the fan base is paying attention to you guys. And honestly, me personally, I'll let Jackson Dart sit a couple of games, and if Russ is not playing good, I want Jackson Dart to start. And I think that preseason game kind of showed to me a little bit, like, he kind of has a little bit of that Josh Allen in him, like the running ability, the toughness, the grit, and the arm. He will, honestly, he will be the second best quarterback in this draft class. I don't think, to be fair, I don't think anybody's going to submit like kind of top over Cam Ward, because Cam Ward looks really good right now. Like, he's on the same page as Calvin Ridley right now, and that when his first I think 2 drives in the preseason, he looked really good. So, but I'm really looking forward to what the defense is going to look like, because they did spend that first round pick, their first round pick, on Abdul Carter, and he's been looking really good, especially against Brian Dawkins. Yeah, it was Brian Dawkins. Yeah. And he's a starting one of the top linemen in the NFL, and he looked really good against them in reps. I'm going to be kind of interested to see what they're going to do when they got Burns, Thibodeau, and Carter. Are they going to put Carter at linebacker and make him blitz in the middle? Are they going to switch around some stuff? And you can't forget about Dexter Lawrence. Yeah. They literally have probably one of the top 5 best line, defensive line in football.
A really good pass rush. The only fold maybe with the secondary, but I don't think they're all that bad. And I mean, if you get...
They got Holland in free agency. They got a good safety now.
Yeah.
And they... Don't get me wrong. I think they might have him still. What's this guy? The guy from Michigan that was really good at Michigan. They went to the Browns. They got traded to the Browns to the Giants. Darrell Peppers. There we go. No, he's on the... No, never mind. He's in New England. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in New England.
Yeah, secondary runner, but also you only need DBs. With that front 7, you only need DBs that are good enough to hold for maybe 2-3 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're there. Yeah, I like Abdul Carter. I mean, he had 6 plays and had 3 pressures, which is insane.
You could have sacked one, like I think 2 of them could have ended up in the sack, because he someone's like, oh, well, he blocked him this way. I was like, no. Abdul Carter made Brian Dawkins go that way, and then it was a good movement by Mitchell Trubisky. But I do believe the Giants will be a playoff team. If not this year, next year.
Yeah. See, and the only thing I disagree with what you said is I think we'll have to see. I don't think it's a done deal that in this draft class, yeah. I mean, we'll see if Jackson Dart gets to play. But in a year or 2 from now, yeah, like I said in the pre-draft process, I think Jackson Dart, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in the draft class. I think he has the most potential, and that's who my comp was for him, was Josh Allen.
Okay.
And
I think you have a problem with black quarterbacks.
No, I don't. No. I just thought he was very Josh Allen-like. I mean, I'll be honest with him, too. I mean, he's conducting himself well. I don't like the fact that he's already got like a show and cameras following him penthouse shopping, Jackson Dart.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Cam Ward. Cam has it? I know Jackson Dart does.
Cam Ward looks really good. I think it's kind of like similar to the Jaden Daniels Drake May discussion, where I think Cam Ward's gonna have a great year. But I don't think
they're going to make the playoffs. So
yeah, I don't think they will either. I think the team has a lot of holes, but Cam Ward, I think he's going to get the start. So I think he will be kind of the Jaden Daniels of this really successful looking quarterback, and then Jackson Dart will be kind of like Drake May of last year, whereas he didn't start all of the games, but once he finally got in and we got a glimpse of him, it's like, oh yeah, this guy can be good. A good start. I think both of them are good starting.
This is the one thing we'll be not concerned about Drake May. If Russ and them get onto a really hot start, you probably won't see.
Yeah, you won't see Dart, and that's the hard part with him. But
I feel like there should be like a balance of things though, especially like you don't want your there's some things that you can like point at like, hey, look what Green Bay did. Like they let their quarterback sit for like 2-4 years, right? And then let them start, right? And then you have like some cases like, hey, you're gonna sit for right now, but once you're ready, then we're gonna start you. Like I kind of like the middle of it. Like I want both. Of course, you're not gonna take out your if you're like 9-0, there ain't no way you're gonna put like I want to put my rookie in now. Of course, like there's some scenarios like that, but also the fact is, like in the day and age right now, I kind of want to see where they're at because you don't know what their struggle is going to be until year 2, and you're like, oh crap, now I only have 3 more years with this dude.
Yeah, and I agree with that because I think it shouldn't be like how it was 10 years ago, where it's you draft a rookie. And unless your quarterback situation is terrible, they're sitting for a year. I think there needs to be a middle ground. Because I also don't like throwing people straight to the flames. Like, I feel like, with the Colts, your situation was kind of bad anyways. You had to start, Anthony Richardson. But I think he would have benefited from at least getting a handful of games, behind to watch and adjust to the speed of the game. Yeah, because he got injured his first year in like week 3, and a lot of it was because in college, you've got a future car salesman trying to tackle you, versus now you've got a dude safety crashing down that's trying to feed his wife and kids.
Yeah,
and they just hit harder in the league. And sometimes it works out great, sometimes it doesn't. Like Lamar Jackson is a great example of some of the guys that are more physically gifted but aren't polished, sitting behind for a little bit,
and then letting them start.
And then throwing him out there. Yeah, because you could Stroud. Where is that? Love C.J. Stroud. Huge Texans fan. Stroud coming out of college was extremely polished, throwing with anticipation. But I'll say it right now too. He doesn't have as big of an arm as like Josh Allen or the rushing upside of Lamar. So that's why, if our quarterback situation wasn't terrible, if we just had a guy aging out.
Same with the Panthers as well. They had to start Bryce Young.
Yeah. I think it's good for them to sit for a couple games.
Yeah. What they did with Bryce Young last year, they just like, hey, chill out. You need to sit. It's not a punishment, but we want you to learn a little bit. And then he came out in the second half of the season like really, really good. Yeah. So I think there should be a fine balance of things. I'm not saying like, hey, this quarterback needs to sit for like 4 years, but also the fact is just like, hey, let's make sure like we get this dude some live reps instead of just trying to do that in practice. Because in reality, you're not going to put your rookies with reps with ones during the season. You want your ones to rep with ones, not your rookie quarterback to rep with ones. Yeah, and
that's where I think it's really good to sit for the kind of developmental guys that aren't super polished yet. You look at, and some of it could have been system, but we're still talking about preseason, and it's just one game. But Trey Lance looked really good with the Chargers, and you see that, and it makes you think, well, maybe they should sit for a little bit. I don't think everything's as extreme as like him or like Jordan Love.
Depends on what quarterback you get, though, too.
Yeah, and like readiness. But now, you're looking at guys that have been in the league. Like Cam Ward, I wouldn't sit. He played so much in college.
Yeah,
he's polished. He's good. I wouldn't, if I were the Falcons, I wouldn't have signed Kirk Cousins if I knew I was drafting Penix because he had so many throws in college. Jaden Daniels did great. People don't realize C.J. Stroud is younger than Jaden Daniels, and he had tons of college reps. So
Caleb didn't. Caleb's
a bitch. Caleb didn't. Yeah, he's terrible. Do you want to get into the Bears?
Might as well.
You go. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Well, we're going to kind of segue into this a little bit. We're going to talk about really like second year quarterbacks and situations that they've been in. So that's why like earlier when I was like saying like second year quarterbacks, we're going to kind of hold off on this. This is where we're going to talk about right now. We're going to start from like the first one to the last one, like in the top, like in their top 5 class because they're the only ones that played. Caleb, I'm not gonna lie, he looks like he's struggling, and it is not me being I was like a Caleb hater, which I am, but everybody hates that one player. But also the fact is, we harped on this a little bit. I don't know why Caleb did not get the same treatment as what Shador did, because Caleb was like, no, I want to, like this offseason he came out to saying like Caleb wanted to play for the Vikings. Like,
yeah, it's the loud quarterback
thing. I'm like, okay, but you don't even show that you can play on an NFL team yet. And I don't want to hear about like his situation. Like out of all the rookies, he had the best situation. They literally drafted a wide receiver with Caleb, which they didn't need to draft another wide receiver, but they did. And they drafted Luther Burton this year. Again, don't need another wide receiver, but they are giving him everything. A wide receiver, another tight end. Like, they're giving him everything. So what I'm saying is, the record that they finished with last year, all I'm saying is it shouldn't have been like that. They should have been on that fringe playoff team with the record they had. They had Moore, and they have Ibuka. They signed Keenan Allen. You have Cole Kmet. You have DeAndre Swift is not a bad running back, but he's one of those ones that are really like in the middle. And you have Roshan Johnson, which I think he should start more, but that's just me. And your defense was still good, so I don't know why. Yeah. I don't want to hear the offensive coordinator and blah blah blah. I watched probably one game from Caleb last year. I've seen a bunch of highlights. I've only watched one game of Caleb last year and was against the Texans, and he looked absolutely terrible. It was boring. It was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Where are you going to throw the ball? Like, you had DJ Moore literally going, literally in the middle of the game, literally going to the sideline and sitting down.
Yeah, while the third down play is still going, running.
He's doing this like I'm open, and then the ball was literally thrown. You see DJ Moore, and granted, DJ Moore ain't that type of diva wide receiver. He's not a diva wide receiver. He's quiet. He's a really good wide receiver. He does his work, but I was laughing at the fact that DJ Moore literally got up and walked to the sideline and sat down.
Yeah, and it's not like it's the system too, because DJ Moore is still a good receiver, but was a good receiver on Carolina with no one throwing him the football. Like, with Sam Howell throwing him the ball. No.
Darnold.
Yeah. Who?
Darnold.
No, well, Sam Darnold, but it wasn't Sam Howell.
Sam Howell.
No, it's the other one. Matt Corral. Matt Corral throwing him the ball. He looked good. Yeah, and, like, this is diving a little more into the numbers stuff. Yeah, people are like, oh, the O-line. The O-line wasn't great, but also, Caleb is number 10, or was number 10 in pressures. So he's pressured the 10th most out of all quarterbacks and was in the top 3 in sacks. He was running into them. GMs and coaches from around the league were talking about the fact that he does not get rid of the ball. He just holds onto the ball for no reason and for way too long. And it's rough. It's not good. I mean, he's getting thrown out of drills at camp. Ben Johnson won't play him in a preseason game. I mean, tons of start. Patrick Mahomes played in the first game of the preseason, and bad. Caleb didn't. And I think it's because he doesn't know the offense. He's struggling. Yeah, and even go back to the video that came out with him like standing, 10 yards away from the big net with the pockets in it for the ball, and he didn't make a single one. I used to do that drill in 5th grade NFL youth flag football, and I could get at least 3. It's terrible. Like, I don't know. I'm very concerned for the Bears. I mean, I don't like the Bears, but it doesn't look good.
And they keep on saying, like, it's a quarterback away. I would have, this is me. I would have just, if you're just getting this out of Caleb Williams, you might as well just have paid Justin Fields at that point, dude. Like,
you should have. He has a higher rushing upside. He ran into a lot of sacks, but not near as much as Caleb. And he'd at least get rid of the ball, and they didn't do right by Justin. They started to try. Everyone was trying to get him help. Like, he has a lot of flashes, but he has no help. And instead, they decided to get rid of him and a different quarterback, and then give that quarterback all the help.
And I ain't gonna lie to you, Bears fans. I don't like if Bears fans are listening. They were pretty pissed off that they got Caleb because like they wanted Justin to stay. Like why don't you just use our top pick and trade down and then get Justin help, get him another receiver, which you could have just done. But it's just like the thing is though, like Caleb is not progressing in the white. You're seeing all the other quarterbacks besides Drew McCarthy. You see all the other quarterbacks being successful, and you gotta realize Jaden Daniels made the playoffs. Bo Nix made the playoffs. The Falcons almost made the playoffs with Penix barely playing.
Drake May had no one around him and still won games.
And Drake May looked good. That's literally four quarterbacks besides McCarthy. No. Yeah, 4 quarterbacks. Now, we're drafted in the first round in the same draft as Caleb Williams, already progressing and doing better than your first overall pick that had more help than any of them.
Yeah.
If I was a GM, I'll be looking at Caleb like, dude, what are you doing? Because like, if you're not good this year, what's going to make it better next year? Like, we traded like half. Like, we traded for offensive linemen. We got Luther Burton. We got Rome Doomsday, which he will be a really good wide receiver. And you got 2 good tight ends now. Yeah. Not one, 2 good ones. Yeah, you got a running back good, and you have a good defense. Like,
you have a top 5 corner. You draft Colston Level, and like, you have a good roster around him, and he's, at least as far as training camp goes, that's all we can go off of. He just can't get it. Like, even Ben Johnson is like, he just wants Caleb to be able to do the simple, easy stuff. Just make the right decision, and he can't.
And the only quarterback that should have sitting out in the preseason, the first one, out of all of those rookies, is Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, I think Bo Nix played, but I'm not pretty sure that he did. I know Drake May did. Drake May did play.
Drake May played like a drive.
Yeah.
And he looked good. I don't know. I don't think
Penix played.
I didn't get the Jaden Daniels. No, I think Penix got 1 drive.
Okay.
I think most starters got 1 drive. I know the Texans didn't have CJ in because he had been dealing with shoulder pain, so they were letting him.
Not a lot of starting quarterbacks played, but even the Vikings. Kevin O'Connell said like literally like, yo, we are putting JJ McCarthy out there. Like, we gotta make sure that he's doing good. And this is Caleb's first year with a new offensive coordinator and like a new head coach, and he's not going to play. He didn't play the first week. Me personally, I kind of feel it kind of feels a little weird, a little bit like you don't play, but that's just me. Like, come on, like, well, you gotta play.
You gotta play your young quarterbacks, like especially in preseason, because the more reps you get, the better it'll be. Like, I mean, you look at the other side of the field in their preseason game, Tua, who I wouldn't have played if I was the coach because he has injury issues and injury concerns. You know, he played. Everyone, like, that just concerns me, and it makes me think that, there are some serious issues in practice that lead into it. See, the next quarterback I would want to get into is probably Jaden Daniels. We touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he's still going to be good. I could have some fears because of C.J. Stroud, because there was a bit of a sophomore slump, whether you want to blame that on O-line or offense coordinator, which I think had to do with more them than C.J. himself.
Yeah.
I do worry a little bit about regression. I mean, they did add Laramie Tunzel, who is a good pass blocking tight end when he doesn't false start.
Good tight end.
Or sorry,
left
tackle. we've been talking for a little bit. My words are getting jumbled. But he's a good starting tackle. I mean, he's an All-Pro. Yeah, I do have some concerns about Washington's defense, but Jaden himself, I don't have too many concerns about, but the McLaurin and wide receiver room is definitely something that I would want to keep my eye on.
Yeah, I think you got us. I think they'll have a very good. I think they have a top 10 offense if McLaurin is there, because McLaurin, like, I'm not going to give anything like bad about Debo. Debo's been looking really good in camp, but you got to add the McLaurin because you can't go into it with Debo as your number one. You got to have McLaurin out there and have Debo kind of feeding off of McLaurin. And I think with Cliff Kingsbury kind of running his offense, he kind of gets what he needed from Kyler Murray, but in a different, very mature quarterback that's not going to be playing games because his mom is literally like cock blocking him for I forgot the basketball player's name. The one from USC.
Yes. Yeah. Juju
Watkins, like cock blocking. So he already got a good structure. I'll say that he has a really good structure. I'm not going to really harp into this because I do believe they're going to be good. I do think the defensive side is going to be concerning. Yet you signed Von Miller that is pretty washed.
Yeah, and aged out the end who is still great. He's historic. I think he's a Hall of Famer, but it's kind of you're at the end where it's you're going from team to team and you can contribute and have good plays. Yeah, but yeah, that's where I'm concerned a little bit. And then just the wide receiver room because again, like Debo's decent. I think Debo's a good weapon to have. My only issue is if the McLaurin situation continues to not improve, there will be issues because I think Debo, again, is a good gadget to have, but with him being so big, he makes a bunch of his money off of slants and screens. It's going to bring the safeties down, but you don't have anyone on your offense to take the top off and force the safeties to play back. So the safeties are allowed to cheat. Yeah, you agree. He's the Texans wide receiver 6, and we all got hurt that season too. But yeah, so that's the concerning part about Washington with me.
The next quarterback, I think, in one of the best situations is going to be Michael Penix. I ain't gonna lie, he has one of the best situations right now. You got Drake London, you got Kyle Pitts, which he literally went on the mic literally saying, like, if I do not get Kyle Pitts the ball and Kyle Pitts does not have the numbers, then I failed to utilize Kyle Pitts, which something in fantasy I gotta watch him.
High upside, Jonah. See, you saw the thing. Draft him in the first round. Do it,
maybe.
Do it, Jonah.
See.
High upside. He has a high upside.
But also the fact is the way that he's going to benefit is compared to what we were talking about, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Bo Nix, and everybody. He has a top 5 running back right behind him.
So yeah, he's got a top 5 running back. He's got a good receiving room. The O-line is pretty good as well. Defense is good. He's got a good team around. I mean, I think that whole division is between the Falcons and the Bucks, and I think both of them are going to look pretty good this year.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie though. I think someone's going to be sneaking up a little bit.
Carolina?
Yeah, that's not the Saints. I mean, like, what the fuck are they going to fucking do?
Yeah, Carolina maybe get to compete. I think I'd keep my eye on Carolina. I may not jump on
the hype train.
On the hype train yet, just because, again, it is preseason. Try not to overreact too much. But, yeah, Penix is in a good situation. When we were talking before we started the podcast and everything, I was a really big Penix fan. I think we all were. But his arm is just off the rails. I mean, hard for us to watch, but he picked apart a really good Texas defense and a Texas secondary.
Yeah.
With
John A. Barrett,
And
Malik Muhammad.
Yeah, and with a lot of guys too, it's kind of one of those things that is you either have a big arm or you have extremely good ball placement, and it feels like the bigger your arm gets, you struggle a little more with ball placement, because you're forced to use different parts of the game. I think Penix is like right in that middle ground where it's he's really good ball placement and a really good arm, where like some people, even like Josh Allen, kind of at times struggle. I've got such a big arm that my ball placement is off. Engaging that, I think Penix can be really, really good, and then he's one of those older guys who spent a lot of time in college and got a lot of reps, to where he's not as developmental as some guys like Caleb Williams or even Drake May that didn't spend as much time.
Yeah. Well, I do have like my thing with Penix is, I'm not going to say like I'm not saying like they should make the playoffs, because I don't know what he's going to look like again, but I do believe that he's going to be one of those ones. The next quarterback, Bryce, you want to talk about Drake May?
Yeah, Drake May is very exciting. I think again the Patriots are good to keep their eye on. I don't think they're a playoff team yet, but I think Drake May is going to be really good. And what I appreciate seeing out of the Patriots front office, and I think Drake May much better than Mac Jones, but the Patriots definitely could have done things to help Mac Jones, like bring in a receiver, strengthen up offensive line,
or maybe not make a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, no, that's true too. Yeah, they could have done a lot, but now it kind of feels like the front office has learned from their mistakes, and they're trying to do right by their quarterback for their future, and things that, a lot of times front offices, it's hard to look in yourself and be like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. That guy just, sucked, or that was the reason, we lost. Like you see it with the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, where it's, I'm always right, and, these other people are always wrong. They looked into themselves, like, okay, like we didn't do right by him. There may be some other things that we could have done that helped us out. Because as Disney, Mickey Mouse, Pro Bowl as it was, Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for Drake May. I think he's good. Again, he's kind of similar to Jackson Dart, where he's got a really good arm and mobility.
Your arm's really fucking good.
Yeah, but also has really good processing and decision-making skills. So I think he's pretty good. I like Drake May a lot. He's, I think, my second best quarterback in that class. Bo Nix is really good.
Yeah,
but
Penix as well.
Penix is really good too. We just haven't seen a lot of Drake May and Penix versus Bo Nix and Daniels started the whole time.
Bro, when we're talking about these like quarterbacks, like second year quarterbacks, I'm just realizing how good the situations are for them. Like, if you really think about it, like, the next quarterback we'll be talking about, again, with Bo Nix, I already harped on it, so I'm just going to move on to, not Bo Nix, sorry, Drake May. I'm going to go on to Bo Nix. The real crazy thing is, all these teams that they, like, invested in, they literally trying to help them out, like, getting them their weapons and stuff. Especially with Bo Nix. They went out and got Evan Ingram in free agency, which I think that is a very good move for them as well, because the one thing is, you gotta make sure that your quarterbacks have a security blanket. Like, tight ends are basically a security blanket. The thing that they did in the draft as well, I thought they're gonna go with another offensive weapon like a Mario Hampton and stuff. But they're like, you know what? Let's help out the defense, and then we got like other people that we can get. Like, Sean Payton's really good at finding those hidden talents. Like, really, really good at finding those hidden talents. Like, we didn't know Alvin Kamara was going to be this good until Sean Payton's like, oh, I want you.
Yeah, I mean, even to go historically, right? The Chargers gave up on Drew Brees and he turned him into a Hall of Famer, one of the best passers of all time.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but it's a lot. But he's good. I think he's got Bo Nix is a guy that can really unlock his system because again, he's kind of more of the Shanahan side, where it's we have the system and the quarterback operates in the system rather than being the system. Well, I think Bo Nix unlocks a lot of that. Where in the beginning of the season, you can tell they had a good relationship because it's they're jabbing each other and Sean Payton can be a bit intense. He's chewing into Bo Nix and he's taking it and making the right decisions and truly developing to where he's making the right decisions. But then something that I'm excited to watch this season is Sean Payton has never really had a super or decently mobile quarterback. He's always kind of had a pocket passer. So I'm interested to see how, and we got a glimpse of it last year, but see how Bo Nix's mobility feeds into Sean Payton's play design and play calling.
Yeah, because I found that really interesting last year because I saw some design quarterback plays. I'm like, what? Yeah, Sean Payton is be running that now, bro. And I think Sean Payton only had that with Taysom Hill.
Yeah,
when he got Taysom Hill, but they used Taysom Hill all over that place. But I think the thing is though, it unlocks a lot. Having a mobile quarterback really unlocks your offense really well, especially with Bo Nix. That helps out Cortland Sutton. They drafted this Bryant guy as well, and apparently he's been really good too. And he's they're calling him the Michael Thomas. You saw what Sean Payton did with Michael Thomas. Had one of the best wide receiver seasons in NFL history off of receptions, yards. And I think he won the triple crown.
Yeah, he got the triple crown.
Yeah, and that's what Sean Payton's offense. So I'm just saying, when they got rid of Russ, is for your reasoning, and it was a really good one. Here's the system. You need to fit our system. Russ is no.
Yeah.
And he's okay, bet.
Yeah, you've got to operate within the system. Sorry, it's the dog. It's operating within the system versus out. That's why Goff has done so much better now. Is in Detroit, he's asked to be a part of the system rather than the full system, and that's also why Stafford has done so well with the Rams. Stafford is more of the system. You play to Stafford's strengths rather than needing Stafford's strengths to fit your offense, and I think that's exciting to watch. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for the year 2 quarterbacks. The only one.
Yeah, the only one. JJ McCarthy, the unknown.
JJ McCarthy
that's the unknown. I've not been hearing a lot of good things, but he hasn't been doing a lot of bad things either. I think. Hopefully in this next preseason game, he gets to play with all the starters because he needs to start building that connection with Justin Jefferson. That is your number one, and he's building connection with Addison, even though he's going to get suspended.
Yeah,
he's going to get suspended.
Yeah, still no Rashi Rice suspension though, Goodell. Do we want to get into that? Yeah, but he's very unknown. I think it'll be interesting. I want to see him play more. I don't have too much to say about JJ McCarthy.
Mobility is going to be there.
I don't think the Vikings win. What they did 14 games last year or whatever. I don't think he's going to go. Much. But I think they could still compete for the division. They're still good. We'll have to see with them and the Lions. There are a lot of questions in the NFC North, but it's still a really good conference.
If he could take Sam Darnold and make him into a good quarterback, I do believe that he can try to do something with JJ, but it's all up to the fact if JJ, me personally, would I spend a first round pick on JJ McCarthy? Hell to the no. No, absolutely not. I don't know why he was getting a lot of first round hype, But he was. I mean, like, congratulations, you beat, like, who would they beat again? National championship. Washington. But they did it based on here you go.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, hand the ball off.
To, like, half of your running back.
Yeah, and then, Washington's O-line just forgot how to play football in that game. Yeah. I wish they would have done that against UT, but they chose not to. Yeah, so it's very interesting with McCarthy, but something you said a little earlier that I wanted to just elaborate on a little bit more, just in general with these second-year quarterbacks and, like, their teams and their front offices, is I think what I appreciate seeing in the NFL is franchises are learning that you can't just draft a quarterback and everything be fixed. And it's good to have some cornerstone pieces around your quarterback before you go into the league. Because, last year, a lot of them are going into really good situations. This year, some of the situations are a little more difficult, like the Titans. That's going to be a little difficult, but you still got a good receiver and a good defense. The O-line may be questionable. But, I mean, you look at these guys' systems from last year, and they've learned a lot from the past. I mean, even just the season before, like CJ's rookie year, is, people looked at the Texans, and it's like, oh, yeah, your guys aren't too great, but you've got a good offensive line. You've got a decent defense. Versus Carolina, it's we need everything. And I think what has benefited, Houston, it's okay, we're going to draft quarterback now. We're going to have a bridge guy. Because when we needed everything, we passed on quarterback and we drafted Davis Mills and then developed over time. He tried to cheer me up with Davis Mills. He's like, it's not too bad. He's actually good backup. I liked what I saw in preseason.
He's going to be a starter.
For Pittsburgh?
No. I meant for the XFL.
No, but he's a good backup. But I like how teams have started to get those corner pieces and worked on their quarterback's development rather than bringing you in and you do great. And I think you look at it going back, I mean, CJ versus Bryce Young. Bryce Young didn't have anything with him, struggled. CJ had he had a left tackle, developing right tackle, decent defense, and then developing receivers. You have Washington, you come in, O-line's not bad, you have a really good tight end, you've got a really good receiver and an okay run game. He came in and already had some of the cornerstones of an offense, and I like how teams are starting to do that more. Drake May didn't have it his rookie year, but what they do in the offseason, they hit that hard. They drafted a really high upside rookie running back, they brought in Stephon Diggs, brought in wide receiver help. Will Campbell, even though he's apparently got short little arms and but he looks good in the preseason.
Like absolutely not. And I think it's like the thing is, like you said it last year as well to me. Like hey, let's kind of build the foundation around, and then get that bridge quarterback, and then kind of get the QB in, like the Chiefs did, like with Alex Smith.
Yeah, and they already had a decent roster, but as you give them a little bit, they gave Mahomes a little bit of time, and then Alex Smith was slowly phased out. Patrick Mahomes was phased in. Lamar Jackson with Joe Flacco. Given those were already good, playoff teams or playoff caliber teams that they were on. But you look at it now. I mean. Here, let me pull up the list. Like J.J. McCarthy has got a cornerstone wide receiver, a really good head coach, a decent offensive line.
Good tight end.
Good tight end. Jaden Daniels, good tight end, good wide receiver if they sign him. If not, they've got a decent backup. Drake May is the only one that didn't have a whole lot last year, but they had to bring people in. Bo Nix, again, good offensive line. The season before, it was a decent run game.
This season's going to be really good, too. I got J.K. Dobbins this year.
Yeah, and a good defense. And they also drafted a guy, too.
R.J. Harvey.
Yeah, R.J. Harvey, who actually, he looked good in preseason as well. You have Penix, decent O-line, good receivers, good defense. They're starting to get the foundation set before throwing a young quarterback in, which I appreciates him.
Yeah, they're also doing that before their contracts are
Yes.
like they have to pay because you don't even know how much it's going to be for Jay Daniels and them.
Jay Daniels is going to be insane. CJ Stroud will probably, hoping he takes a little less, but it's probably going to be pretty close to resetting the quarterback market. And we also got to pay Will Anderson.
Yeah,
That's going to be hard, but yeah, you've got that contract coming up. Yeah, Bryce Young, if he plays out of his mind this year, is going to get a really good deal. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get a deal as like that. I don't know. Some of these quarterbacks, I think they're going to try to learn how to take a pay cut a little bit.
Yeah, I think he would get closer to like anywhere between the Baker deal and the Purdy deal. I think he would get something kind of in that range.
Or you're going to do one of those quarterbacks, Caleb Williams, the Dak deal, where you just get...
Chicago would probably give it to him.
Yeah. All right. To close off this episode, we do have some little like tidbits and stuff that we're going to talk about. One of them is going to be the Saints quarterback room. Ain't going to lie to you. We're going to make this quick and simple. Congratulations, Saints. You have the number 1 pick next year because ain't no way you guys are winning that much games.
Yeah.
That's why Tyrann Mathieu retired.
Yeah.
Retired because he ain't going to try to be a part of it.
Yeah. And the good thing is Garrett Nussmeier lives like 2 hours away because Arch is not coming out after this season. They already said they want him to play 2 more years. So, you got Garrett Nussmeier down the street.
Cade Klubnik.
Cade Klubnik. I wouldn't wish the Saints on Cade Klubnik. He's a good kid from Westlake.
Lenore Sellers.
Poor Lenore Sellers.
No, I don't think he will come out of the draft. It's bad. I don't think that situation is going to get worse. It's going to get worse. I think you need to be, if I'm the Saints, I'm on fire sale. Sell anybody.
Yeah.
Be trading anybody. Getting the best value you can with Chris Olave. Get him gone. Get him your picks. Start looking at your roster. Get Alvin Kamara. Get him some picks and get out of there too. But you need to be on fire sale because this is it's only down from here.
You just need to get rid of everything for picks and figure stuff out. Like, I don't know. You can relocate to the middle of nowhere in the United States. I would do that for a 5th round pick if I'm the Saints GM right now or Saints ownership. You need everything that you can get, and it sucks because Saints are just right down the way, New Orleans from us. Love New Orleans. The Saints are terrible.
Hey, at least you get the founding. You get Kelvin Banks.
Yeah.
As a foundation
I
fee.
forget that Kelvin Banks is there.
No, well, his baby didn't want to be there.
He just started crying when he got drafted. I would have been right there with that baby if I was from the Saints.
Also, we did kind of harp on it a little bit, but we don't want to talk about the Cowboys that much because we let the bigger media people do that. But we got to talk about like what is expected with the Cowboys. Bryce just said, I think they're going to finish last. He thinks they're going to finish last. And even if Dak plays 15 or 16 games, it's going to be 15 to 16 games of ass. I don't know what you're going to do with Michael Parsons. Me personally, I know the trade request thing is just because they wanted him to get a new deal and blah, blah, blah. I really do not think that Micah, everybody says 85%. I give him a 40% chance to stay with Dallas because the way that Jerry be talking, I ain't going to lie. If I was Michael Parsons, I would be wanting gone. No, I'm not playing for you, dude, because the handshake deal, a real man does handshake deals. Michael Parsons only went in that office hey, I want you to get with my agent. And that's a good thing because what if Michael Parsons signed something that he didn't even know of? Yes, that's what his agent is for. His agent is to go over the fine print. It's what the heck is this? What is this? We're not signing this with this clause in. That's the thing.
People don't do just handshake deal stuff anymore, and I think it's just ridiculous. If Jerry and everyone wasn't out in the media talking about Micah Parsons and the way that they have, I think, and trade requests came out just because they couldn't agree on a number or a number of years. I'd be like, oh, he's gonna stay. Like, there's no way. He grew up watching the Cowboys, little Cowboys. But I think, given social media stuff and kind of what he said, I think he's like actually hurt about the things that Jerry and everyone has come out and said, and honestly, I would too. So I don't think he's gonna stay, and this is just another chapter in the dysfunction of the Dallas Cowboys. And who knows if he does stay? It's probably gonna be similar to what Jerry did with Dak, last year, where it's oh, we're gonna wait till the very end, like literally, what was it, a couple days or right before the first game of the season, and it's like, oh, hey, here's $70 million a year, boom, Dak Prescott. But you lose so much money on a quarterback. They could have, if they signed him at the beginning of the offseason, or even during the regular season, before, they would have saved $10+ million on that contract. And they're offered Derrick Henry's making $9 million. You could have found that $9 million paying Dak earlier. But Jerry wants to play the game and do all of this crap and make it, play with the media.
He should have signed him before they signed. I'm thankful they didn't do it, but I'm glad they did not sign Micah Parsons before we signed TJ to an extension, because, like, again, it's better to pay your players earlier than later, because the market's just going up, especially for quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs are starting to get paid now as well. These holdoffs, like these teams need to realize, like, hey, these good players need to get paid before another good player gets that money. But again, you can't really guarantee money, because now what are you going to do? Yeah. Like, you're paying CD, the funny thing is, I looked at a post the other day. The Eagles are paying how the Cowboys are paying Dak $60 million and the cap this year. That is more than the Eagles are paying for A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts combined.
Yeah, it's insane, and you've got to pay your players early, and Jerry just doesn't do that because he's
paying the good players too. You're paying for a mid-ass quarterback.
Yeah, but and I know I use a lot of Houston descriptions. It's just because it's the team that I follow the closest, my favorite team. But Nico Collins is, I think, easily probably a top 7 wide receiver. We paid him extremely early. He is the 18th highest paid receiver in the league, 18th, 20th, something like that. And because we paid him early, that's why I'm hoping that we pay C.J. Stroud early and Will Anderson early, because we may get a Will Anderson deal done before Micah Parsons' deal, which I honestly kind of hope for. But people, the way it works now is everyone is constantly resetting the market, and you've got to pay. You've got to pay your players. You've got to pay them early, so that you don't end up in the situation that the Cowboys did, where everyone wanted Derrick Henry. Well, we paid Dak probably $10 million more a year than we should have, because we decided to wait 6 months. Because
I would have got rid of Dak.
Yeah, I would have too. But I'm big old Jerry Jones, and I'm not going to do that. Yeah. So now, you don't get there.
You can't pay George Pickens this year. George Pickens is one and done in Dallas.
Yeah.
Unless he takes a big pay cut, because now if you pay Micah, you're paying Micah that 200 range.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that you waited for this long. Micah Parsons is him and CD are your best players on that team. That's the team that will sell. Those are the people that will sell tickets. You're giving your fan base false hope, and you're costing them in the long run.
Yeah, Dallas is just they are not to be taken seriously. It's
and one last thing. I'm going to give a few players some props for the preseason games, the ones I was like, okay, good. And then also I'm going to give some players that I'm like, oh, yo, what the hell is this? I think Bryce already said it. Bryce Young and I say T-Mac. Those two looked really good in preseason. Ain't going to lie. And even though they did do a couple snaps, but that connection is building. And that's the good thing you get to see. Your starting quarterback is building with. You spent one of the top picks in in there. I'm like, okay, cool. That's really good.
Yeah, and they would have looked even better if Xavier Legette didn't get into a fight within like 2 minutes and get kicked out. Because then that would look really good.
Yes.
That's what I'm excited to see next week if they're all playing is because now, I mean, they're young and developing, but at least size and physical attributes have a really scary wide receiver front. Just two massive, crazy dudes. I wouldn't want to play against it.
And again, his the offensive coordinator was originally from, I said offensive coordinator. The head coach was the offensive coordinator at Tampa. And what did Tampa have? Mike Evans. He got his Mike Evans. So Legette can be his Chris Godwin. I'm just saying, he can build his offense just like that. And investing in Bryce Young by drafting him a receiver. Like, hey, we're investing this in you. We're going to give you a receiver, a really good one, the best one in the class. I do believe so myself. I think he's the best receiver in the class, not fucking Travis Hunter. But also, I'm going to give my praise to one other person. Justin Fields, baby. He looked really good. He looked really good. He did look good. Especially the fact is, some of the throws weren't really there. Ain't gonna lie. His first one to Garrett Wilson was kind of bad, but he did lead his offense into doing really good. My bads, ain't gonna lie, Breece Hall. Breece Hall did not do good, and the moment they put the Allen guy back in there, he got like a fucking 14-yard run.
Yeah.
I think Breece Hall just needs to change his scenery.
Yeah, I think Breece Hall is still really good. I like Breece Hall. I don't think he's a scheme fit at the moment, especially with kind of how bad the Jets have been. They're going to be kind of a more, West Coast, probably power running and short and breaking route scheme with their offense. And Breece is more of a East and West playmaker kind of guy.
He went to the 49ers.
Oh, yeah, if he went to the 49ers, it would be great for him to learn under Christian McCaffrey or, yeah. I mean, there are a whole lot of areas where he could do really well. Unfortunately, I don't think the Jets are scheme fit for him. But you also, I mean, you never know with the Jets. I hope that they do well. And you've heard good things in camp.
That was his fantasy running back, by the way.
Yes. He was bad last year, but he won me the league the year before. But yeah, no, I agree with that.
So, and I don't really want to talk about quarterbacks, but all Saints quarterbacks looked really bad. Graham Mertz looked really bad. Quinn looked really bad.
His O-line was terrible, though. Those two fumbles weren't really on him. I want to see him develop. Of course, he's not going to start in the next year or two.
Looked really good.
He did look good. But, yeah, I think in camp, yours has looked really well. I think he just has to adjust. But, I don't know, I'd be interested to keep my eye on it. Yeah. He did just 2 fumbles and not so great. But, yeah.
Want to talk about Graham Mertz?
Graham Mertz, yeah. He made Quinn Ewers look like a Hall of Famer. No, that was a terrible game.
Yeah. Well, thank you for tuning in to this episode. Next week we'll be back again. We'll be talking about a little bit more topics, ramping up to football season.
Yeah, I think we're going to hit some more college, a little bit of preseason, but yeah, and hopefully we'll get some of the guys back and we'll be able to get back into a flow of things. Very excited for the NFL and college season to start.
Yeah.
Get into that time of year again.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you guys.
See y'all.